Loading. We're on the air. All right. No monkey business. So here we go. And so, first of all, big shout out to Aria. Hello, Aria. We miss you. And we're sending you this slideshow. Magna dis immortalibus habenda est, atque huic ipsi Jovi statori antiquissimo custodi huius urbis gratia. And I stopped there because it's a rather long sentence. And you can see in the light blue, I have three nominative singular masculines pointed out for you. There they are, magna, habenda, and gratia. And those wonderful open A sounds are holding this whole phrase together. And it really would have been the sound that helped all the senators understand what Cicero was saying. In the center of this phrase, we have a future passive periphrastic, habenda est. Now, this is one of my favorite constructions. Habenda, the gerundive, est, form of the verb to be. Remember, a gerundive is an adjective, is passive. If you forget that, I'll never forgive you. And you can always tell a gerundive from the ND. Habenda's a gerundive. And gerundives, particularly the future passive periphrastic, express this particular oxymoron, passive obligation. It is to be offered, it is to be held, it is to be extended. Hard to describe that particular definition in this context. Is to be offered, must be offered. That's pretty good. We've had one before. Here's the one we had just previously. Est admirandum. It is to be admired. Or something like, you gotta admire this. All right. So there it is, future passive periphrastic. This is just a little mini lesson on that. And here's our example sentence. Carthago delenda est. Now, Carthago is a feminine noun of the third declension. Carthago, Carthaginus, feminine. Scipio Africanus said this in the 2nd century BCE. It was Carthage was a terrible threat to Roman commerce and also a military threat. They went to war, and Scipio Africanus said, "This time we're going to destroy them." And so they did. And if they had not, Europe might have been an Afrocentric nation. Very interesting. The whole color dominance combination could have been flipped if Rome had not defeated Carthage. So Scipio Africanus, he's named Africanus not because he was from Africa, but because he defeated Africa. All right. So this gets complicated. After this future passive periphrastic, we have an absolute deluge of datives. These are all datives. This is just madness here. This is dative plural up here, to the gods immortal. This is dative singular here, huic ipsi Jovi statori anticiquo custodi. And I think I popped into some of your breakout groups and explained that when Cicero said this, he would have gestured, because this speech was held in the temple of Jupiter, because it was more easy to defend at the time, and there was this threat of insurgency. So they had guards and they held it in the temple of Jupiter. And this whole phrase is just one giant dative phrase. The actual dative is Yowie here, And then he's redescribed with this appositive, statori, and I explained that's an epithet, that's a traditional ritual name for Jove, the protector. And then he's redescribed again in this appositive, antiquissimo custodi, most ancient guardian. Huh? And this is a superlative of antiquus. So old, older, oldest. And then um, these are pronouns describing Yahweh, this itself. And yeah, Cicero would have pointed over toward the statue of Jove or Jupiter in the temple when he said this. And that's why he uses huic ipsi, that statue there. All right. And then we just have of this city there. All right. The next half of this sentence is bounded by quod here. And this is because this is not qui qua quod. And then we've got a tricolon. You can see I've got that named right there. Tricolon. That means three parts, three bits, and it's delimited by tam. Tam titram, tam horribilem, tam que infestam. Three toms, three adjectives describing the actual direct object, which is here, pestem. And here's your verb. We have escaped the destruction because so many times now we have escaped this destruction, so foul, so horrible, and so ruinous to the Republic. I think, judging from the breakout groups I visited, you all did pretty well on that. So this is also called anaphora, repetition for the sake of emphasis. And when you are writing your papers in high school and in college, use this. You'll see it pop up all the time in your own writing, partly because you've read Latin and you can't get it out of your system, but you'll find you won't just say such and such is blah adjective. You'll start coupling them together with different shades of meaning. As you can see, these adjectives are not that different. Foul, horrible, ruinous, they're all like pretty bad, right? But he wants to flesh it out and really emphasize it. You can do that too with your own English writing, and we're going to practice that a little later on in the year. We're going to make our own Jeremiads against each other. They all descend upon Pestem. He saves that for the last as sort of a dramatic um, technique. Okay,